prominent dignitaries and religious leaders have been paying tribute to Pope Emeritus Benedict, who died Saturday in a monastery in the Vatican at the age of 95. Benedict was the 265th Pope and the first to resign in over 600 years. His death brings to a close an unprecedented period in recent history where two popes have coexisted, a situation that has caused tensions within rival camps in the Vatican. Pope Emeritus Benedict Christian Joseph Ratzinger was born on April 16, 1927. He served as Pope from 2005 to 2013. The former Pope was fond of cats, pianos, and Mozart. Among his reforms, Benedict made major moves against clergy who abused children. He headed the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, a Vatican department once known as the Inquisition, for 24 years, a position that earned him the nickname God's Rottweiler. Benedict held uncompromising positions on homosexuality and contraception. He had strongly opposed liberation theology, a radical movement that began in South America in the 1960s, and advocated clerical social activism among the poor and marginalized. On a trip to Africa, he dismissed condoms as a way to prevent AIDS. He called gay marriage a threat to humanity and held firm to doctrines such as no female priest. Benedict was the first pope to do a TV question and answer session, albeit with pre-screened questions, and he oversaw the launch of an official Vatican website and a papal Twitter account. During his lifetime, Benedict authored 66 books. His first book was published in 1966 and his most recent in 2012. Benedict was the 265th pope and the first to resign in over 600 years. Now the story behind Pope Benedict's red shoes. At the point when Pope Benedict resigned in 2013, he ventured down at the priest of Rome and out of his popular red cowhide shoes. During his rule as Pope, Benedict's red shoes became something of a brand name, motivating ABC News to consider him a fashionista and Esquire to name him Fashionista of the Year. At another point, his loafers started discussion after misleading bits of gossip guaranteed they were created by the very good quality Italian design house Prada. Benedict's selection of shoes stands apart in light of the fact that his ancestor and replacement Saint John Paul II and Pope Francis picked other options. In any case, popes have strolled in red for a really long time. A long way from a design explanation, in the Catholic confidence, red represents suffering and the enthusiasm of Christ. All in all, they mean the Pope continuing in the strides of Christ. Two Italian shoemakers are credited with designing Benedict's shoes during his pontificate, Adriano Stefanelli and Antonio Arellano. Stefanelli, an Italian skilled worker, has made shoes for prominent people, including Saint John Paul II, Barack Obama, and George Washington Bramble, as indicated by Italy's NASA News. He originally conveyed shoes to the Vatican when he saw John Paul II in torment in 2003. CNA recently detailed. He asked himself what he could do by and by to help. He settled on shoes. Tens of thousands of people are expected to pay their respects to former Pope Benedict as he's lying in state in the Vatican. He died on New Year's Eve at the age of 95, almost a decade after he stood down because of his health. Pope Francis will preside over Thursday's funeral, the first time a pope will be buried by his successor. And that's it on today's news. To keep up with Allnews Nigeria, you can follow all the social media platforms displayed on the screen. We will be back with more news updates tomorrow. Until then, stay tuned. Okwemi Olugbemi reporting for Allnews Nigeria.